Well, it's 8:30. It's 8:07. And it's that time of your Thursday where we get into Island Tea. And I got my girl Kortensia Carty here with me. Yours truly, Jamster, on the case. Good morning. Not a lawyer, but on the case.
I was just want to say, what case are you on, and when is this case going to be tried?
How you doing?
I'm all right. Can't complain.
So,
So good morning to the diaspora. Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. To all of those persons listening to us, be it by YouTube, radio, Channel 40, X. What's the other one? Thread?
Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah.
What is Thread? Is there such a thing as Thread? No, it's Twitch.
Threads is Facebook's take on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So wherever you
Twitter-like platform, they tried to a few months ago when Twitter was having some trouble, some PR trouble. They thought that they would start that and have a whole bunch of X/Twitter people move over. It didn't really happen. Speaking of which, you've been following the TikTok thing. There was a story I wanted to play. I don't
have TikTok though.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people here do, and a lot of people do have TikTok. So apparently everything has been passed by both the Senate and the House. So it was bundled in with the aid that they passed for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. So what's going to happen? And apparently, this is something I found out. Apparently,
so everybody is going to lose.
No, what's happening is Twitter has to not what I'm saying, not Twitter. TikTok, which is Chinese owned, has to be sold in 9 months. The president has the option to extend it for a further 9 months. It was actually originally 6 months, but the Senate pushed for an additional 3 months to 9 months. But then the eventual bill. But then there was always a provision that the president could add an additional 3 months. So Twitter has to be sold in 9 months, or they're going to be banned
from the U.S.
So
who are they going to sell Twitter to?
Well, it has to be an American company, or a company that the Americans feel they can trust, a company of a nationality that the Americans feel they can trust, and that's gonna probably be an American company.
So they're bullying people then?
Actually, that's no, I don't. I actually don't agree. I think on national security grounds, I think it's a sound. I think it's a sound decision, and it should have happened before. Actually, I don't know if people know, but no American apps, or pretty much no apps, are available in China. Also, yes, they're not available. Also, the company that owns TikTok, ByteDance, they have a similar platform, very similar to TikTok, but it's all quote unquote wholesome content, meaning it's things like where you could go and get help with your homework, and it's all you know those communist those communist types are all about harmonic society and family values and all that stuff. So they don't allow any of the kind of tomfoolery you see on TikTok, on the Chinese version. Okay. So just by dint of that alone, for me, it's fine. And then think of the scenario where you have this extremely popular platform that's owned by a competitor and enemy. Let's just call it what it is. They're an enemy, right? And
Because they're an enemy because they're coming from China. Is that why?
no, because the Chinese in China there are laws in China where corporations have to hand over information and have to hand over information to the Chinese government if the Chinese government asks. They don't have the option of opting out. It's not like in the States where
They have a right to something.
yeah, where for example there have been instances where the FBI and the CIA have approached Apple about cracking. Maybe they're investigating some criminal, and they want to get the messages. And Apple has told them, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's.
Whereas in China, you don't have that option. You have
to give it.
You
up.
have to hand over the information.
Yeah. Okay.
So because you have TikTok, for example, having all these American users. Now think of a scenario where, for example, you have the families of important American officials having TikTok accounts. Or you may even have some of those important officials having TikTok accounts. It means that TikTok can listen in on these families or these persons' conversations, content, email, and stuff without their knowing. It's already been found. It's already been found that it's already been found that, for example, the Chinese have hacked into the health records of a lot of military officers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy like that. Yeah, yeah. So I totally agree with this.
When we think our phone is private, our phone is not private.
Especially if it's a phone that's say owned by made by a Chinese company. Like take for example.
Aren't all the phones made by a Chinese
but
company?
it's different.
Jamsla?
Well, yes, but it's different. If a phone is made by Apple, designed by Apple, and made to Apple specifications,
it's made in the U.S.
No, but actually, one thing a lot of people don't know is that a lot of the key parts. What are you laughing? A lot of the key parts in an iPhone are actually made in the US, and
in the US. Okay.
And then
I thought you were gonna say China.
And then they ship them over there. A lot of the
China?
key.
So why they're still being assembled there?
Because it's much cheaper.
Yeah, but aren't they afraid that they can add something to those parts? Or there's
No,
somebody
it's not
there
as
to
simple.
ensure that
No,
the
it's not. No, because
specification of Apple is
a lot of this stuff is built in the States
maintained?
because of the fact that they're so sensitive and they don't want the Chinese to get their hands on a lot of the companies are now waking up. A lot of companies now are now actually moving manufacturing back to their home countries. Because the Chinese government forces, for example, let's say I can't even think of. Okay, let's say a German manufacturer. Okay, I'll give you a good example. There are high-speed trains made by the Japanese. The Japanese and the Germans and the French pretty much pioneered high-speed trains, right? And when the Germans wanted to get into, because the Chinese didn't approach the Japanese because they have this rivalry between them and so.
Forever.
So you have companies like Siemens, which is a German company. They wanted to get into the market because they knew the market was big. So what happened was they went over and the Chinese government forced them and a whole bunch of other companies in pretty much in every sector to hand over the technology. And because they're greedy, let's just call it what it is, and they want the money and they want to get into the market, they do it. But a lot of them are now regretting it. The Chinese government forced them to hand over. So no, the Chinese actually, a lot of the trains are actually made in China.
Oh boy.
And because of basically stolen or let's say borrowed technology. So what happens now is that the Chinese train makers now are selling these same train tech to other countries, especially in Africa, so that maybe can't afford to pay cement for the more expensive trains, and they're underselling them and all that, and that's happening in the solar industry as well. The Chinese, they're subsidized to a ridiculous degree. So, for example, you want to buy solar panels, and you might say, okay, I'm going to buy my solar panels from an American company, and you look at the price and you think, oh, that's a pretty good price, but then when you see what the Chinese are charging, it's way, 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 way less, to the point where the American and European companies can't make any profit. And this is systematically done by the Chinese government to undermine
Others. So
Europe.
isn't
And
there a way, since the Chinese can be a minority in this situation, where the UK and the other persons in Europe can like crack down on them and said, look, this is
Yeah.
what you're gonna sell it
they're
for?
they're pushing back. Well, they're pushing back on them with a lot of the nonsense. For example, it's now happening with electric cars, where in Europe, the Americans haven't allowed any Chinese companies into the U.S. selling electric cars, but the Chinese companies
Into
are
the
getting
US or into Europe?
no, the Americans into U.S. But in Europe, they're now, the Chinese companies are now selling electric.
Infiltrated.
Yeah, and the European car makers like Volkswagen and
Peugeot.
and those people, they're upset because generally they can't meet those kinds of price points. And the Chinese deliberately, they will actually loss lead. You know what loss leading is in retail science, where you'll sell something at a loss just to kill the competition
and gain the market.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, let's hear what it's called. I hope these phones are working. Caller,
Please
what's up?
work today.
Yeah, I know it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Caller, go right ahead.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I want to talk about that blackout up at the hospital. And my first question is to Kortensia, that's your name, right?
Yes.
Okay. As a flight attendant, what is the emergency procedure, I think, before or during the flight you would perform?
Well, we have no emergency procedures before the flight, and we only perform an emergency procedure if something happens during the flight. But prior to flight, because it is said that flight starts as soon as you sign in, so you don't necessarily have to take off for the flight process to start. We have to make sure that all the emergency equipment on the aircraft is checked. So that includes all the life jackets underneath the seat. We have to ensure that they would have not expired, the pouches are not damaged. We have to check our oxygen bottles to make sure they're full. We have to check our fire extinguishers to make sure they're full, the seal is on, etc., and that it has not expired. And we check all the equipment around the aircraft. So no emergency procedures before. Emergency procedures are only performed if there is an emergency.
Okay, so let's fast forward a bit. What are your instructions to the passengers? Don't you give them instruction in case of emergency? This is how you put on your...
Yes, if we have an emergency, yes, we will tell them what they have to do. So let's say, per se, we had a water landing. We will tell them once we would have gone through everything, we let them know they put on their life jacket, but they do not inflate it in the cabin. And let's say once we would have landed on the water, we will request that they leave everything behind in hopes that they do. We will tell them, because once we land, we have to make sure the exits don't have any debris or anything. So we identify which exits we're going to use. Then we're going to ask them to leave everything behind, come to this exit, sit on the seat, sit on sill, feet outside window. You inflate your life jacket, you jump into the water, and you swim away. So those are our instructions.
Fine. So the problem I have with the Ministry of Health is that they conducted and whatever it was, nobody was told about it. So you see where the problem is? How can that be?
I know. I watched Big Lie show last night, and I saw him speaking about it, and there was one person, I think they were trying to be the voice of reason. They mentioned that maybe it was a planned drill, but everybody didn't have to know but the person's there. But Big Lice made a good point when he said, if the person's on life support and the current goes out and the person is just like gasping for air, are you going to just put on back the current and then go and tell the person you're joking? That's not fair. So I really don't know what happened. That's why I was asking for somebody to call and inform us.
Yeah.
Let us know what it was. Let us get...
And one more thing. I heard Rusty say hospitals do not do emergency, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around a hospital and they would have mock evacuations. Evacuations in case of emergency, what the staff should do. In case of whatever emergency is. So,
Didn't Dr. Drew address it on his roundtable yesterday? And I was told that someone said he said this is being practiced all over.
I know it to be, but especially emergency evacuations, because anything could go wrong in there. You would have, I know they would use the staff to simulate, how they would, go about it. Not the patient itself, but, the staff.
Yeah, because I'm thinking.
And the idea is to get the people out of the hospital.
Yeah, because you can't move somebody that's in ICU in a drill, can you? Would that make any sense?
No, listen, emergency evacuation.
Yeah,
Whether
emergency,
whatever, the point is you have to get them out.
Yeah, you have to get them out in an emergency evacuation. But I mean in a drill, would you include somebody that's on life support, that's in ICU in a drill?
That's why I say they use the staff
Okay.
to simulate it.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I'm still trying to find out.
Well,
What's the back out?
well,
And they just fail to admit it.
yeah, but what Rusty explained yesterday, he said he got it from firm ground, was basically what happened was the generator. They were doing a drill, but the standby generator in the hospital didn't. The transfer switch
Didn't work.
didn't work.
Okay.
So
And nothing is wrong with that. Mechanical things are subject to breakdown.
exactly.
So you would have wished that if that's the case, they come and say it just didn't switch over.
Because that's the point of the drill, to see what doesn't work.
The matter would have been behind us.
No.
I could remember when COVID first break out, they had a Chinese doctor who brought it out, and the Chinese side wasn't true.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah. Distinctly.
And
Yeah.
then look what happened.
Yeah. So you're asking for transparency.
Government when they say things, and we just fall for it.
Yeah, everybody's saying that.
But also, it gives light to a lot of the other shortcomings of the hospital. For example, I didn't realize until it was pointed out by Rusty yesterday that the hospital doesn't have emergency lights. You know those lights, those battery-powered lights that when you have power, they're like usually in hallways and so on, and they'll come on.
They'll light up.
They don't have any of those. So
because we have some bulbs home. Once the light goes, they stay lit for good bit.
while.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Caller, I want to take another call, but actually, I'm glad that you did bring. Okay. Wow. I'm glad that you did bring that to thing. I mean, that caller really showed me. Yeah. I'm talking about TikTok, and he's like, "Nah, we're going this way." But but no, that's good. I was planning, I just kind of did the TikTok thing because it's kind of in the ear, and you mentioned something that made me think of it. But there was some other stories in our news, WINNFM news, that I wanted to comment on as well. But let's take this call. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Mr. McMahon.
Yes, with regards to TikTok ban, Jamswell, I don't know, but I think you're making a mistake with assuming that the United States don't do the same thing that China is doing.
I'm sure they do.
Of national security,
Yeah, but I'm sure they do. But I'd rather they did it than the Chinese. That's all I'm saying.
Why?
I don't trust the Chinese.
If they're doing the same thing, why would you rather the states do it rather than
No,
the Chinese?
but it's I don't know. It's probably hard to explain. You know what I mean, though. You just being difficult.
No. Honestly, no. If they're doing the same thing, right? They're no better than the Chinese. If they're doing the same,
I don't think it's a false. I think it's a false equivalence, actually. because none of the American apps, none of the American platforms are available in China. So why should they be allowed to be in the US? In fact,
no, we're looking at the relationship with the users of TikTok in the West, well, specifically in the United States, for instance. Right?
yes, but you
It's
listen.
this is not a case of where a government is essentially imposing its will on its citizens in China, right? This is a case where the bastion of democracy do not trust their own citizens with the technology that they're using.
But what you making?
I
No,
looked at-
but wait. Why are you
this
blaming?
morning.
Why are you blaming the potential victim rather than the owner of the the owner of the
Who is the
platform?
potential victim here?
The American or us?
Exactly.
What I mean? They don't trust us. They don't trust the Chinese. That's what you mean?
No, they don't trust their citizens. I looked at Fox this morning, right? And they're totally flabbergasted by what's happening on the university campuses in the States with the
Yeah.
pro-Palestinian demonstration.
Yeah.
And they want to blame TikTok and other social media because the mainstream media, I guess, they would normally stand on the straight and narrow insofar as what they perceive as the Western interests are concerned, right? And it just seems contradictory that a bastion of capitalism and democracy that should value independent thought and trust their citizens to do the right thing are essentially saying that we know what's best for you, and we say that
No,
TikTok
but they're not banning it. They're saying it must be
they're threatening
owned
to
by.
ban it if they don't divest
Well,
it.
yeah, right. So it's not about being banned. It's about we want it owned by people we can trust that are not Chinese. And if you don't want to sell, well, you're going to be banned. I don't have a problem with that.
Isn't that anti-capitalist though?
No, it's
It isn't?
this is founded on national security grounds.
Aha, that's exactly what I said. You can do all kinds of strange things in the name of national security, and that's exactly what the United States does.
But
Okay.
you have cases where people at nuclear facilities have had Trojan horses sent to them in their email, where like it's like a naked girl or something, and they click on it, and then
Wipe
So,
everything.
right.
all forms of espionage and that kind of dirty tricks.
and
That's
so
what I'm saying.
yeah, but
You know, ABBA is no better than Saba when it comes to things like this, right?
I kind of
There's
think
no
ABBA.
devil angel here.
I'll think I'll go with ABBA in this case.
So I'm going to give
I'll,
you a
I'll
hard
hold
time
my
this
I'll hold
morning.
my nose. I'll hold my nose and go with ABBA.
Okay, but
Yeah,
but
the
you
Americans.
do-
The
you do
Americans. Oh
realize
God,
that
we
the
know the
military
Americans are not
industrial-
innocent by any stretch. But God, I'll hold my nose and go with them.
Of course, of the military industrial complex
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and the revolving door insofar as that is concerned.
yeah.
So if you think that companies like Apple and the other high-tech companies and the universities are all operating independent of the government,
Well,
which essentially funds a lot of
that's not
the
true,
research and so on.
because Apple has had it out with them many times where they
Sure,
come. I remember they.
for cosmetic things. But when it comes to national security, you think it's any coincidence that the U.S. have the best
I mean, why do you-
technology
Yes,
and
but
guided missiles and
but
so
but
on?
why do you think that? Why do you think? And this, and I'm gonna bring this up again because you brought it up. Why do you think that these demonstrations are happening on those campuses? It's because it's because
right.
no, but there's another level to it. The other level to it is that these people live in a country where you're largely allowed to voice your opinion. And Apple, do you think any Chinese company can tell Mr. Xi, no, I'm not handing over the information? Are you kidding me?
But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to come out like that in the open. There is already, I think, the kind of, shall we say,
Do you know?
cooperation.
Do you know the
To use a
FBI?
soft
Do you
word,
know?
cooperation between
but-
these high-tech companies and the government?
But do you know that the FBI and the CIA have had to resort to going to? There's an Israeli company that they use to crack Apple's
Right.
code to get information that they wanted concerning criminals and so on. They've had to do that because
Sure.
Apple has said
there are many ways to skin a cat.
Apple has said
Okay.
no. We're
There
not.
are many ways to skin a cat,
And in
as
fact-
long as they get what they want. And I'm saying that with it, if you can do all sorts of things in the name of national security.
The Chinese government doesn't have to do that.
I'm saying there's no devil and angel here. And you know that the campuses have always been, when it comes to the conscience of America, whether it is in the Vietnam War or any other conflict, it's the campuses that are in the forefront of resistance, so if you want to call it that. So don't
Yeah, that's
you should
true.
not be surprised
That's true.
that is happening again,
Yeah.
because you can't control people's thoughts using the mainstream media like once ago.
I agree.
And that is exactly why they're
And you can see that the writing is on the wall for the synagogue of Satan for sure. Because
what's
when
the synagogue of Satan?
Israel. Anyway, listen.
Wow.
No, because
you see, they would regard that as anti-Semitic,
well, no, it's just the truth. And then how could I be anti-Semitic if they're not the real Jews? I can't be anti-Semitic.
You'd be born at the stake for heresy,
Yeah, I know.
With those kinds of
I know.
Right? I mean, that's just a fact of life.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be politically correct.
Yeah, I guess the next time I travel,
Otherwise
they'll take me to a side room probably.
They
Right, Kay?
would in fact.
Boy,
They push back.
I was saying,
Yeah.
the next time I
That
travel,
thing
they'll
with
take me to
the-
a side room.
definitely.
No, I don't think it will be as bad as that. But that thing with the hospital, right?
Yeah.
I expect that, unlike a lot of people who feel that it was some conspiracy theory, I don't think so. I think they really planned it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that the planning did not take into account certain factors. I don't know if, we would hope that a test like that, what would happen is that they would have tested the generating equipment and whatever else to make sure that it does in fact come on. So ideally, they really should not be in any darkness.
Yeah,
Okay?
because I have an article here to read to the caller that called earlier in response to it. I found something.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hospital, for heaven's sake, and you can conduct a reality test there.
Yeah, but the
without
doctor,
having all
the
kinds of consequences.
doctor
You
PM
have
says
to-
it's
you have
done
to-
elsewhere.
You have to be
So
measured in what you test and
Hey.
how you test it.
the infallible
I don't think
Dr.
that was
PM
done.
said it's done elsewhere. So who are we to
No. Of course, they
You
have
know?
simulations and so on elsewhere. What I'm saying is, those simulations are very carefully thought out, and the extent of them, because obviously they can have consequences if it's the real thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that it doesn't appear as if it was well thought out here in terms of what the disquiet it would cause, for instance. If you apparently they had actual explosions simulated or something like that, you don't do something like that when there's a community close by,
Yeah, that's
right?
going to
Who
lead to
obviously going to
concern.
want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There are ways of doing these simulations and tests and training without having that kind of disruption. That disruption was definitely uncalled for, unnecessary. So
Yeah.
of course you do simulations, but very well thought out simulations to make sure that the training that they've had before, because they must have been trained before in what to do.
Yeah. So
in
you're saying
circumstances like that.
the explosions were actually simulated then?
That's that's the impression I got. That,
Okay.
You know, there was maybe some loud bang or something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I'm saying you got to take into account it's not an isolated facility. There's a community close by,
Yeah.
and there would be repercussions. So, but like I said, it was a learning experience, and they expect that we'd expect they learn from these things, and whatever other tests going forward, I'm sure they'll do things differently. You could bet your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay then.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
So, Jamsa,
How about if I just go to the break?
okay, go to
Take
the break, and then
we come back and we
and
do that, yeah, for sure. Island Tea continues.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Nice to meet you, Jazz. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an independent 27-year-old manager who wants her own home with her own rules.
Sounds good. I'll help you get there.
We see you, the go-getter, with big plans, and we've been keeping you in mind. Follow your goal home with a mortgage from CIBC Caribbean, and don't bother about your home insurance, as we'll help with that and more. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more info. Conditions apply.
Here are your Horsford Value Mart IGA specials.
Running April 18 to May 1st.
Now our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Longest juices, just $11.99. Campbell soups, $8.99. Sunny Delight, tangy and smooth, $5.99. Essential Everyday grated Parmesan cheese, $11.99. Eggo waffles and pancakes, $15.99. Purex liquid detergent, $15.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. IGN Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese, $2.99. Essential Everyday Pasta, $4.99. Star Kiss Tuna, $3.99. Kind Snack Bars, $6.99. The Colgate Toothpaste, $6.99. White Wayne Shampoo and Conditioner, $4.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
8:39, and we're back on Island Tea, and we continue the conversation.
Yeah, we have to, because we need to
Yeah.
set this thing straight. So this article is on winfm.com, and the heading reads, Hospital power outage part of simulation to test readiness for catastrophic failures. And this article is by Kevin Brown. It reads, St. Kitts and Nevis, on April the 23rd, 2024, the citizens and residents of the St. Johnston's community and road travelers were caught unaware during what a release from the Ministry of Health called a controlled plan simulation exercise aimed at testing our readiness for catastrophic failures at the Joseph N. France General Hospital. Police redirected traffic on Keon Street, the island's main road, between the Old Hospital Road and the intersection at the Caribbean Cinemas and Lime Keel. According to reports from people on the ground, the J.N. France General Hospital was in darkness for 30 minutes from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on April the 23rd, 2024. Witnesses at the hospital reported hearing explosions from the main road, as many as 4 explosions over 30 minutes. Shortly after the power was restored between 7:45 and 7:50, SCALEC issued a release informing the public of the comprehensive drill at Buckley's Indoor Substation on Keon Street as part of its commitment to enhancing safety protocols and preparedness. The simulation presented an explosion scenario to test the preparedness and coordination of first responders. It formed part of SCALEC's Safety Week of activities in collaboration with the Fire and Rescue Services. The exercise participants included the Sol Gas Station team, the J.N. France Hospital Management, flow technicians, Fire and Rescue Services, NEMA, and emergency responders. The Ministry of Health said the exercise purpose was to assess and enhance the hospital's response capabilities in the event of an actual emergency by simulating conditions of power failure. People in the surrounding community and at the hospital were confused because the simulation organizers did not communicate the events to the public to make the event as close to a real emergency as possible. In response, the Ministry of Health said in court, "We understand that the undisclosed nature of the exercise may have caused our patients and their families to raise their levels of concern. However, this was the intended outcome, as it was crucial to maintaining the illusion of an actual emergency of this level. The closer this simulation is to real-world conditions, the more we can ensure that patient care remains uncompromised and that our staff is equipped to handle any situation with the highest level of professionalism and efficiency. The community awaits the assessment of the simulation."
Okay, well, let's hope they actually give us the outcome of.
Yeah.
Tell us what the assessment says. Another story I thought was interesting on the news this morning. You remember a few months ago, the DPP was bemoaning the fact that the police officers kind of dropped the ball with collecting information and taking statements and stuff like that. So you kind of had like chapter 2 of that, where there was this case where this guy got stabbed to death during Juve, I think it's 2022 Carnival, and
I see the charges being dropped against the individual.
Yeah, because of the same stuff that the DPP was talking about. So clearly there's an issue with the police officers taking statements, or at least apparently some officer took notes, and apparently they couldn't find the notes. They got displaced.
Oh boy.
And on top of that, no proper official statement, because sometimes you'll take the notes and then you go and write up the statement, but apparently they couldn't find the notes. So that again points to one of the problems that's gonna put a monkey wrench in the works when it comes to crime fighting. If people are not going to be brought to justice because of technicalities.
Wow.
Technicalities brought about by, let's say, incompetence and negligence, on the part of the police and so on. So that's something that needs to be looked at. It'd be nice if we could go back and find the DPP's original statement. And I should say too that I don't even think that we would have had such a muscular statement from our local DPP. That DPP is, I think he's from Antigua or somewhere. And generally, you find that the functionaries here are invertebrates, right? So you never get assertive, sensible statements like that from them. Sensible in the sense that something that needed to be said, something that's on point, and something that any right-thinking person knows that, well, any professional who's trying to get his job done, these are the kind of things that he would want, and these are the kind of things that he would be proselytizing, talking about, and saying, hey, in the case of the DPP, hey, cops, you need to have your statement taking your observational skills on point, and you need to take note of everything and do it properly so that the criminals don't fall through the cracks. Let's take this call. Caller, go right ahead.
No, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm listening to you. Now, here it is. With the incompetence that you just read out with the police. Now, look at it. The person that gets stabbed, they're not getting any justice from the judicial system. Now, here's a case of where where man gonna take their own justice because the system keep failing people. The system is failing people, so now that's why I guess the young man them gotta take their own justice because the system is failing people. How incompetent can you be? Imagine my child gets stabbed, I'm waiting for my case, and you're gonna tell me no charges is being filed against the person who do it?
Because there's no evidence.
SK.
Because there's no evidence. Oh boy. Listen, I'm hoping she just mentioned something there.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I didn't want to say, don't give anybody any ideas.
No ideas, that's my thing. But we know We know the repercussions. Let's just say that. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is very sad. Because who lives in a society that know that eye for an eye?
Exactly.
Boy, Lord Jesus.
Exactly. There was another story. Go ahead. You got anything else you want to talk about?
They just need to get it together because this is not looking good at
Yeah.
all.
Did we talk about the planes yesterday?
You mean
Liet? Liet,
you
yeah.
speak about Leave Island at all times? No, you? You were like Liat was
No, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt because actually, like I was saying, I don't know if I told you.
You saw the article where it says that he is willing to have talks with former Liat employees.
Oh, he did? Okay,
yeah, I don't
that's
know
good.
who is gonna want to talk.
Also, you mean who's gonna want to go back? You mean? But you don't think some people might want to go back? I mean,
We have the diehards that will go back, but I mean, in terms of pilot, it'll be a struggle. All those pilots are,
I meant
all of
to
those
ask you.
pilots are all over the place.
I knew I had to ask you a question. In the case of these jets, those the turboprop pilots will have to be
trained.
They'll have to be trained to fly those,
Yeah,
right?
and they're gonna move with the most senior ones first.
Okay.
So they still should have some senior gentlemen that were left back. They would get the opportunity to fly the jets as an upgrade.
So in this
But
case,
I don't know who, because almost most of the pilots I've spoken to, they'll be like, who? Yeah.
You really?
I don't know what he's gonna do to maybe get the guys and gals back, but it's gonna have to be good because the mere fact that I want to say he left a bitter taste in most persons' mouths, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Whereas I always voice my disapproval of the general Liat setup. I must say, the jet thing is a wrinkle I didn't see. Wrinkle again. Wow. It's a
Needs some
development.
makeup.
A development. Yeah, a development I didn't see coming.
But they were supposed to
I have.
get
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that yesterday.
a while back,
which is good.
Because
those jets are
Caribbean
they're specifically designed for short hops.
has jets like that
those
that
regional
does
jets,
a run between here and Barbados.
Who?
Inter Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they have one.
Inter
so
Caribbean
Liat
probably
has
have
one
more than one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah.
And when you think about it, it's something Liat could have done before, and I think 50 is a nice kind of comfortable number where, okay, let's not go for a 100-seater yet because we don't know if we can fill it, but a 50-seater, I mean, I imagine.
Maybe even a 70-seater could work.
Yeah.
Because we know we have sometimes when it's a visa season, everybody needs to go. You don't need to tell people they can't make this flight and they can't make that flight. Just get them out. And once people know that there's something that's going every day, they're going to go. Because regardless of what people say, the only time was slow time for us was maybe a little bit in September. But to me, it wasn't really slow. But that would be the time when I flew, you would see the least seats.
September?
The least persons in seats.
Why is that? Is because a lot of...
you're just coming off of summer. The kids are back in school.
Oh.
Ain't nobody going nowhere until maybe the end of October, November. Remember, we transported tourists from Antigua and St. Kitts to the BVI. So you won't see them until late October, November time. That's when it picked up again.
Yeah.
But it had a year, I swear, we had no slow season, boy. I was wondering what was happening. But yeah.
Well, that's a good thing to have, right?
Yeah, so I just hope that people, especially for the young pilots that are coming out of school and looking for a job, give them a chance, see how far they can take you. But to get the seasoned pilots back now,
that's okay.
I really don't think
and
they're
how
going to
long,
go back.
We have a call. How long does it take to train up a pilot from turboprop to,
I am not quite sure. But I know initial flight school is 6 months. That's it.
Okay, so it's not that long.
So
then.
it's, So I'm not sure. I can't tell you 2 months, 3 months, but not sure.
Call, go right ahead.
Hey. This one is for Jamster. Now, yesterday,
Oh God, what did I do now?
Okay. Some time back, you made a comment there about Jamdo.
Oh, yeah.
If I'm not mistakenly, you were saying that he would have to call Labby and apologize.
No, meaning he'll have to call her show and apologize.
But why?
Because he swore on the air.
Yeah, but that's free speech, eh?
He swore a F-bomb. He swore an F. And
the right
but yes, but an F-bomb on the ear at 8:30 at night. Come on.
So we does it all the time.
Hey, I'm not sending him to jail. I just said I just wasn't gonna let him come on the ear. He hasn't really called yet, but
Yeah, sure.
you're making it sound like he's facing the firing squad. Come on, man.
But that's what you are doing. You are censoring him and telling him he have to. Remember.
Well, listen. At the very least,
did that to us,
I understand what you're saying, but at the very least, I want him to apologize to Lavi, so he can call Lavi show
Anyone
me.
was hurt? You had a call of listeners complaining about what he said.
So I have to wait for someone to call to address and to point out wrongdoing. When I can tell.
That is not wrongdoing. That is free speech. You are criminalizing it.
So you're saying I should just let people drop just drop F-bombs because you say so?
But we does it all the time.
Yeah, but not on our ear. Sorry. You know what? Let me take another call. Caller, go right ahead. Caller, go right ahead.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Yes. About the issue with Jamdo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the situation happened. He didn't deliberately do it. During the heat of the what he was saying, he slipped out. And I'm sure if Flavia had given him the chance to apologize, he would have, but she cut him off immediately.
No, that was me. That was me.
Okay, you cut him off immediately. So I'm sure if he had given a chance, he would have apologized to Lavia.
Oh, actually, no, we didn't cut him off. No. Actually, let me correct that. After he realized he swore, he hung up. He said, "Oh, I gone." See, something to that effect. So we actually didn't cut him off. He actually, when he realized, he said, "Oops, I think I overstepped," and then he
because everybody know that he gets passionate, and I've never heard him slip up like that.
Yeah, but
he
you
was really in his feelings. But in any case, I don't think you should say he can't call into no show until he.
No, I had said
to
no.
Nappy.
No,
He should, as a man. That should let his conscience be his guide, because he didn't offend you. So and let Lavi
no,
come
but listen.
out and say, well,
But you also have to understand. I can get in trouble for allowing something like that, right?
Yeah, I understand that.
There are a lot of
and
levels to this.
The thing is, Lavi, right away, Lavi apologized to the public. She did. So it was a slip up. It was in a moment of his passion. He slipped up and she apologized to the public. So it's not like something she just let it fly over her head.
But this idea that he's never sworn before, but people never kill people until they do, right? So when they do these things, they have to be dealt with. I mean, it's not like I'm sending him to jail.
No, to put a ban on him to say he cannot call into no program unless he calling to Lavi.
Well,
Maybe if you didn't do that, maybe he'll have done calling long time to Island T, maybe and apologize. But let me tell you, even though you know you're wrong with something, when somebody put a heavy weight on your shoulder, yeah, you're gonna stay in your feelings, because right now you impose a heavy weight on him. So it's like you make
so
it
you're
seem
saying
like
you're saying so you want people to just drop F-bombs with impunity and nothing should happen. That's what you're saying.
No,
because emotion. Because emotion. Just let people drop F-bombs.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you should not put a ban on him telling him he cannot call into Island T, because he normally do. Who knows?
I didn't put a ban on him. Listen.
And apologize to him,
I didn't put a ban on him. If he had called, at any point, I would have said, Jan down, last week, whenever you swore, my plan was that at least for a week, when he called, he wasn't going to get on. But in fact, someone, I think the guest that we had tonight suggested, why don't you let him, after the week, let him, if he wants to get back on, he has to come on Lavan's show and apologize, which I agree with. What's wrong with that?
He should apologize.
Right,
I agree, he
right.
should apologize.
He
But
actually-
it seems like from what I heard, from what I got, it seemed like he said he cannot call into no show unless he call a Lavi show and apologize first.
Yeah,
He
so
should
what's wrong
apologize.
with
And
that?
I believe he's man enough to do that. I heard him apologize many times for stuff, but I would think he would be man enough to realize, oops, I made an error, and apologize. But give him a chance to apologize. You have a good day.
Okay, all right.
Hi, good morning to everybody.
Hey, what's up?
Yes.
Wait, let's take a call. Another
Okay.
call. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning.
Hey.
Yes, I'm listening this thing, and I can't believe that I'm hearing someone saying that swearing on the air, it's free speech. He has the right to do that. What happened to my right? Don't want to hear any profanity when I put on my radio.
Thank you.
Can't I sue the person? What is my right? So let's look at what our law says about profanity. I mean, forget that they're not
Constitutional.
fully,
Yeah.
especially in the street.
But it's
what
also not
our
constitutional,
law
really,
says about
to,
profanity.
the-
And shouldn't I have the right to sue that person or those persons who feel they can come on public radio and swear? In my space, I don't swear in my house. And if I have my radio turn up loud and somebody chooses to call in and swear and that go out in my neighborhood because my radio up loud, that's me affected. So therefore, I got a right to sue. So what happened to my right? And that is what we have to realize, that people are now trampling on the rights of others, saying, because I have the right to do bad, to do wrong, you don't have any other right over that.
Yeah, okay,
We
caller.
must be careful. We must be careful.
Yeah.
I think
Caller,
I
wait,
got,
we have a
I
call.
want you to hold your position. That the person
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Morning,
Yes.
Rusty.
morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I want to jump in on the jam down issue. I want to jump in on the jam down issue. I am a professional journalist. I work in the media. You, as much as you have all the rights you want in the world, I think it's in most countries you don't have on most shows. You do not have the right to call and swear on any, use any indecent language on anybody's show. If you do, you have to apologize on the same show at the same time to the person, the host, and the guest. That's it. I think Jam Down is a big, decent man, and I'm sure if he's hearing me right now and he wants me back on the air talking, that's all he has to do. Whether Jamster say he should do it or Jamster manager call him and tell him, listen, somebody swore on this show last night, blah, 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 this way. That's what needs to be done. I don't know, we come in talking nonsense about free speech. Like we say all kind of stuff I want, but you don't do that. You have to have some respect. You can swear all you want down at the circus. You can swear all you want at your house. But when it comes to the radio, you have children listening. You don't even know who you have listening. You don't even know who listening, from big to small. So that's the point on that. If I can get another chance, I want to call in and talk about the electrical thing last night.
Go ahead.
All
Quick.
right.
Go ahead quickly. Yeah.
Go. Oh, okay. Yes. Last night, it seemed as if I was told I'm in Taiwan. I couldn't hear it very well. I'm in Taiwan, and how do I know this kind of stuff? Again, I'm a journalist. Immediately I heard this stuff, I called my sources, and I got the information. The information was the electricity department was doing some drills. If you read the electricity press conference, it says where they're going to do drills. No way it says the hospital. And what they did, they called the hospital and asked them, and told them, we're going to do a drill. Make sure is your generator up and running? They said yes. The reason why they did the drill, because that powerhouse thing right there, where you turn up for the old hospital road, that power station, it blew up some maybe a year ago or what have you. There's an explosion in it sometime. So they wanted to make sure everything was working in that area. There's a person at the hospital, I don't know if the manager or what have you. It's a she. Let me go that fast. It's a she. And they told the electricity people, it's okay. Go ahead. As they turned the current off, the whole hospital went into darkness. The problem with the darkness in the hospital, and they need to look at this, there is no emergency lights. You know, in current, you have these battery-powered lights to move it through and around, to look at patients. They don't have any of that. Neither on the palm, but the person tell me, way back from labor time, there's no emergency lights at the hospital, right? So I just want to clear up that. This is what really happened. And the thing about it, the lights going off, they told me it wasn't a long time. Anyway, but the thing with the thing, if the hospital had just come and say exactly what happened, it wouldn't reach this big this long distance about, the government this, the government that. It wouldn't have reached here. It's just a simple mistake and they weren't ready for it. That's all. I don't see a big political issue to that the hospital there and this and the hospital there and that. I don't know why we don't treat things with honesty, openness and honesty. That's all we need. I want to talk another thing about that for tomorrow night. I want to talk about PLP press conference, but I'll do that tomorrow. I can't know. Thanks a lot, James, and Kortensia and Azard.
Okay, let's go to a quick break, and we'll come back and hear from AZ. He just came in, so we're gonna come back and hear. 3 minutes after 9 o'clock.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 FM.
This Mother's Day, celebrate her. Be loved with beautiful hand-finished jewelry from Pandora. Give like only you can with styles that shine as bright as your special bond. From radiant symbols to heartfelt messages, find the perfect way to light up her day. Tell her, thank her, be loved. Shop Pandora Jewelry today.
Available at IC Jewelers, Port Zante. Call 466-5853 for details.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects or sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
And we are back. AZ is in the house. Kortensia had to leave. So here we are. Chev was supposed to join us, but she's at the Open Day, which, as everyone knows, starts today over there on the Kim Collins Highway, across from Feed and Farm.
Indeed. I want to wish everyone a terrific Thursday. You know, Thursday has been going. My voice isn't the best, but I'm going to try to make do. So I came in, I guess, at a very heated time.
Not really heated. It's just that I was kind of taken aback that people were defending, you know, Jam Down's indiscretion, you know.
I know
it's not like he got sentenced to 10 years in prison. He just said, you know.
I know at times Jam Down could be a bit passionate. I mean,
but
for me, maybe a warning. You know, was it the first time that he did it on air?
A warning, but then there was no chance to give him a warning because as soon as he saw and he realized he saw, he hung up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's what I'm
it's
saying.
the first time he did it, right?
Well, not with me. I've never. I've heard him swear before actually.
On
Not
air?
as bad, not an F-bomb, but swearing on air. Yeah.
I mean, if it's the first time, then you give him a warning. If he does it again, then you institute other things. But that's me. I'm not saying for anybody else. That's me. I would have given him.
But
a warning.
an F-bomb is usually beyond the pale for broadcasting, right? And
yes,
and you're not just gonna let that slide. You're not on my watch anyway. And clearly, as you can hear, I think most people don't think that that was cool.
Of course, it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate on the radio at all. I know he calls in regularly. I know he expresses his views. I know he can get a bit passionate. I don't think that perhaps it was, I don't know, I didn't listen, so I don't know, but I would have warned him not to do that again and then see where it goes from there.
Oh no, it's taken care of. Don't worry,
Okay.
it's sorted. I know exactly what to do. You know what to do in law. I know what to do on my side of things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yes.
So
there are a number of things. I mean, I didn't get a chance to listen to some of the discussions you had earlier. What did you guys discuss?
Well, we talked about TikTok and the fact that the everything has been passed.
Okay.
The Senate passed it, so I think I'm not sure if the president's
banning the TikTok.
We're not banning it. No,
What are they doing?
they're gonna force a sale. They have to be sold within 9 months, and if they're not sold, they'll be banned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we have some phone calls. Caller,
Okay.
go right ahead.
Caller, you're live.
8 minutes after 9.
Yes.
Hey.
I want to ask you if the radio station has a code of conduct. That's all. In relation to the jamsteism, not the jamsteism and the my friend here.
Jamsterism?
The Lavi show.
What's Jamsterism?
But
What's
Lavi-
this?
but before go, Lavi blasted Rusty some nights ago too, so that's another thing.
Yeah, no, but that
Nobody
that
say
got
nothing
no, that got sorted out. There's someone masquerading as
No,
Rusty.
I'm just saying it.
Okay, but there was somebody masquerading as Rusty.
Have a good day. I'm
And
saying that no.
that was a misunderstanding. Yeah. Wow. People, I don't know. Everybody's it's like people just want to come on the air and swear. I don't get it. This is crazy to me. This is wild.
No, I know he can get a bit passionate. I would have given him a one. That's me. That's me. Everybody is different, so we move accordingly. Because usually, if there's an infraction,
But
I
you
know there's
don't
some serious
drop an
offenses.
F-bomb on my watch and get a warning. You're gonna get banned for a little while. Sorry. The end.
Well, you said that he hung up after he said
He
it.
hung up after he said it,
So
and
you
he
said that
hasn't
you said
called
that
back
you
since.
realized
You realize
that he did something wrong. So perhaps it was not intentional, but a slip of
Yeah,
the tongue
okay.
while in heated passion.
Yeah, but you have to pay for that sometimes.
Yeah. and-
Caller, go right ahead.
Morning
Morning.
again.
It's not like
Now,
it's a
the
capital. It's
TikTok-
not like it's a capital offense. Everybody's acting
Now
like.
the TikTok.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, go ahead.
Now the
What's up?
TikTok issue, right? Now, America know that the TikTok were owned by a Chinese company. From TikTok come up, not even in China they have TikTok, right? So why didn't they think of the threat before? Like what are that naive that they don't know China? They know who China is, but they let TikTok come, let TikTok build up, right? And now that you let it build up and all of your people them subscribe and have TikTok, now you want to come to say, sell me your company. Because then, you know, you're affiliated, you're a China company, and we fear that you're going to be spying and giving people information. Come on. You didn't know that from the beginning.
Yeah, but I'm sure they did. But
Been proactive from the beginning. That should have been dealt with from day one.
yeah, but what was I gonna say is I'm sure they knew, but you know because of how the Constitution works in the U.S. It's not like China where they can just get up and say, okay, we're banning that, or send him to jail without due process.
Okay, but
There's
why
due
wait
process,
for so
right?
much years now to want to? Why wait for so much years now after they build up and the company well established, well built up, to know that you want to come tell me I must sell you my company?
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna sell them my company.
Well, so they don't get banned then.
Well, I would have rather get banned than other places in the world who well want TikTok. And you know what? They're going to have a hard time banning TikTok because even some of these people that's saying ban TikTok, they got TikTok. Their children have TikTok. So it's going to be a hard fight. You have a good day.
Okay.
Yes.
On to the next.
Yeah, so you know, right?
Call, wait, another
we
call.
have another
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
Oh,
Call, go
okay.
ahead.
Yes.
Hi, go ahead.
Greetings.
All is well. Everyone is good.
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks, Steven. Okay. Give thanks to the information. I was listening earlier, but I'm now on the road. I'm heading to an event. All right. But Africa there. We're Africa. If you're in there, you have to carry me for the echo. You know, I'm turning on when we hear about the swear word. And, you know, in the meditation, we were supposed to talk about words. Are we still online?
Yes, we're still online.
Yeah.
We're listening to you.
Yeah, what was the swear word?
Oh, I think I wasn't there. Jam, so what was the swear word?
So, but to repeat it.
An F-bomb.
Okay.
Just give me a clue.
An F-bomb.
Jamster says an F-bomb. Jamster says an F-bomb.
What was the word?
An F-bomb, meaning one that starts with F.
F1. Okay.
Yeah.
So someone did that on the air a while ago.
No. That was last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Oh, it was 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, on Lavi's show, Real Talk.
On Lavi's show.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you the person. So I want to know who, and I will find out in time.
Yeah, Jam Down. It was Jam Down.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me move on with the reasoning. You know, words. He said, you know, that meditation, because meditation is always first, before action or before words. Are you with me?
Yeah. Yeah, we're listening.
Yeah. So, in terms of utterance, like putting the thought to a sound, to a word, or to words, most of Earth inhabitants drop the ball where that is concerned.
Yes.
You see the tongue, you know, there's a book in the Bible, it's the shortest book, it's the book of James. I think it's 2 pages. And it speaks about the tongue, that member of the body, the tongue. And believe you me, people, believe you me, it will do some people good if they remove their tongue. It might sound weird. Rita Marley, who we live amongst in Jamaica, she left and went to Africa, you know, and she shared something with me. She said she went amongst a tribe and nobody there talk. Are we still online?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Everybody know what is to be done. Coordination, cooperation, unison, everything is there. Nobody talks. And some of the elders even put their lip, certain parts, they take their food liquid form to show that touchable example, you know? And I mean, it's not pretty. As a wordsmith, I'm a poet. What they call poet, but I see myself as a wordsmith. I've been doing this from the age of 7, smithing words, putting words together, poetry, they call it, etc. And believe you me, it is appalling. It is saddening to see how people just labber the tongue. They just labber. The world is full of too much talkers. Not just saying it's David. too much talkers. And I'm going to end on that. Can't talk enough. Give thanks to the time. Bless us
Okay,
all.
great. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So I got a message here from someone concerning the. This is crazy to me for real. Someone said, in reference to Jam Down, let him apologize. Those callers crazy. You cannot let him on again unless he apologizes. Well, tell the lawyer we don't want that kind of favoritism politics. Wrong is wrong. What's wrong with these people? That's what I don't get either. I mean,
I would have, of course, an apology. Yes, he apologizes and you give him a warning. I know sometimes I wasn't there. I didn't listen to the clip.
Yeah.
I'm just going based on what being said because I didn't even know anything.
But Azard, you don't have to be so. You don't have to like you're tiptoeing through eggshells.
No, I'm not
he
tiptoeing.
He swore. He swore.
I am.
You don't have to talk about. I wasn't there.
I'm laying
He
the
swore.
foundation for my position.
He swore on the air.
Are you going to allow me to speak?
You stop being a politician for
I'm
once.
not being
Can't you
a
just be a human
politician.
being?
I'm not being.
Or
a
maybe you're being a
politician.
lawyer. I don't know.
I'm
Because
laying
lawyers
the
are quite human
foundation.
in my mind.
I'm laying the foundation for my position. Even if you commit an act, let's say you commit the act of murder, there are circumstances, mitigating circumstances that would affect your sentence. You understand? So what I'm saying, from the evidence that you have given, you said that he swore.
Do you have to pontificate so much? It's just a
No.
guy who swore on the
You
air,
saw- you see-
who was not condemned to the electric chair or the firing squad, I might add.
Yes,
he just
was
got
not.
banned for like a
But
week or
But
something.
you see why I have to lay the foundation. Because based on the comment that was made and read by you, it suggests that I am giving favoritism to Jamdong based on some political affiliation or politics. So that is why it's important to lay the foundation. And that's why
Okay.
I said, you said that it seemed like it was accidental. when
Yeah,
you were
of course,
speaking.
it was accidental,
And
but he
so-
still should be punished.
And fair enough.
Yeah.
So we have an apology issued by a warning, and then if he does it again, then for me, you implement stricter or more strict penalties. That's me. So
fair enough.
Yeah, it's different. It's different than someone comes on here and they just firing the F-bombs left, right, and center with the intention to do so from the start. If it's in a conversation and it slips out again, and you said that he hung up the phone when he realized, so he's like, wow, I get into heated here, I hang up the phone. So it may be a situation that it was completely maybe in the heat of the moment. And so I say, a little warning. And an apology, of course. He apologizes for what he has done, issued by a warning, and then monitored. You understand? So, and I'm not condoning such language on the air at all. I have always been one who says one should be respectful to others while speaking and giving their opinion.
Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Didn't need all that pontificating though. But
I think it does sometimes.
He swore. Jam down. You got banned for a week or whatever. We can still have a beer. End of story.
So, while we continue, right? I was reading this article. The Olympic Games are coming up.
Yeah.
And which country it's in.
Yeah, Paris.
Yes.
Paris.
So Paris will make it. Will become a no-fly zone to safeguard the Olympic opening ceremony. So, based on the article that I've read, it says the skies over the Paris region will be closed for 6 hours as part of the massive security operation for the July 26th opening of the Olympic Games, the Paris airport operator said Wednesday. So for 6 hours, there won't be any aircraft over the Paris region, he said on France Information Radio. The no-fly zone will extend for a radius of 150 kilometers around Paris. The Civil Aviation Authority and Interior Minister, he indicated that as well. So The unprecedented waterborne ceremony on the river running through the French capital is the stiffest single security challenge for Paris Games organizers, with crowds of more than 320,000 people expected to line the waterway. Wow, so this is going, you know about that?
So I got to read this. Someone just sent me a message saying how, I just got a complaint from a viewer that you're interrupting Azard. Are you a god? And I don't know. Are you inviolable in some way?
No, maybe they think that you were interrupting me. Same way the comment that you read suggested that I was giving favor to Jamster because of political affiliation. People are going
Jam
to
down, you mean?
Yeah, jam
Yeah,
down.
okay.
People are going to give their comments.
Okay, but that comment just sounds, it comes off wrong from that person. It's like somebody has you on a pedestal somewhere.
I don't think so.
Like, I don't know.
don't think so.
I don't have you on a pedestal, just letting you know.
Certainly, I know that, but I don't think so. I think the person perhaps is making a fair comment based on what they have seen. You understand?
Sounds like the person is in tears.
No, for them to make a comment.
Oh,
Persons make comments all the time.
He's interrupting demigod Azard.
No, I don't think so. I
I'm
don't
so
think
distressed.
the person sees me as a demigod at all. The person sees me as an individual.
A god?
perhaps.
Maybe they see you as a full god. I don't know.
The person perhaps sees me as an individual who's trying to express his point, but interrupted.
No, I just find it funny. We're having a spirited conversation, and you have people bothering people about Jamster is interrupting Azard. I guess that's like the new capital crime. Swearing on the air is not a capital crime, but me interrupting you is maybe.
I think you're now taking
They're
it
probably
out of context.
they're probably going to
Jamster.
surround the building.
I think you're taking it out
with
of
a bullhorn
context.
and say, "Jamster, come out with your hands up."
I think you're taking it out of context. I really think
playing.
you are. I know.
I'm just playing.
So the Paris Games, right, or the Olympic Games in Paris. So this is going to be some sort of water works happening. I know you're into the sports and Olympics and stuff like that. So you knew about this happening before?
Yeah. Well, I this is something I follow, so it's going to be interesting. I know one of the interesting things they're doing is they're going to have. They were thinking of doing they might change it because I forgot what the reason was.
Yes.
They wanted to do the opening ceremony actually on the Seine, the river. So rather than doing it in the stadium, they're going to do it on the streets of Paris and on the Seine. So they'd have boats and swimmers and so. But one of the concerns from some environmentalists is having some of the performers. They don't think that the river Seine is clean enough. That they think it might be too polluted to have people maybe doing. I imagine they're going to be doing like performative swimming and so on for the opening ceremony. So there might be a possibility that they might move it to the stadium. So I think they have a plan B to move the opening ceremony to the stadium if it comes to that. But sounds pretty interesting. And then there've been some controversy about them trying to move homeless people out of Paris city center and also trying to move some of the low-cost housing. There's some low-cost housing projects, and they've been trying to, they have moved people, and some people, some activist groups are upset about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so
should be interesting, and it's in July.
July, yeah.
So it's some months away. It seems like it's going to be very interesting venture, looking at the opening ceremony and the waterworks that are to be planned. I was looking at another article, right, and this one is about layout workers, and it was saying that the Antigua PM is willing to negotiate directly with farmer layout workers.
Yeah, we talked about that this morning.
You talked about that this morning?
Yeah, she was saying, that. But she was, I get, because she used to work for layout.
Yes.
She said she is not confident that a lot of these people are going to take up the offer. Maybe they'll go and listen to him, but then she was saying they might not take up the offer. We have a call. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, Island. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And the Attorney General then which?
Attorney General?
Attorney General?
You said the Attorney General will come on the program this morning?
No.
No. No.
Oh, I thought that you were saying because you only kind of late.
Okay, no problem.
What wrong with Jam now? Right now.
I really don't want to talk about that. It's not really that big a deal. So, you have something else you want to talk about?
No, sometimes when we come on the radio, sometimes we become emotional, and I believe that we know that the whole world is listening. And I always say that when I come on the radio, even if I'm in emotional way, I try to choose my words when I come on the radio. And I talk to a lot of people who are calling on the radio. You know, sometimes, one time I call in and I tell Jam, don't take it easy, Jam, no, cool it. Don't get so emotional. Because if you get emotional, you'll get carried away. You know, remember the whole world is listening. And this is the thing that we ain't have no problem with you coming and saying the views and saying whatever, because everybody in a Jam is a man. He loves to see Bastille look healthy and tidy, and that's always the concern. And I believe sometimes, Pucho, that when Jam come on the radio, you should take it easy, you know, because we all got our little challenges and our little problem and everything, and, you know, coming on the radio and saying those words, we know where, you know, what the station could going to, especially because we're liable calling somebody name, say the thief or something or the other. So when I come on the radio, Jamster and Azard, I don't make sure I chose my words when I come in on the radio. Anyway, you all have a blessed day and continue this program, because I don't want to see them to get away. Run away.
Okay.
Very, very informative.
Okay.
All right then.
All right. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning again.
Hey, good morning.
Azard, nice to see you. Good
Yes,
morning.
morning.
Jamster, you hear about Kirk and Taker's new law that they passed?
No.
That if you even if you travel into their country and you're found with a weapon or even the bullets, the ammunition in your carry-on luggage. So like right now we have a case where this guy from the US went there. He must have went hunting and forget the ammunition in his carry-on bag, and he's in prison right now there.
Mm-hmm.
But they passed a law say if you come to their country with any kind of ammunition or weapon, it's 12 years mandatory. What do you think about that?
So you're saying that the person came to the airport with a illegal weapon?
I guess he went hunting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he forgot the bullets. He forgot to take out the ammunition. He did not have the gun.
Okay.
But he forgot the bullet, the spent in his bag wherever he went, and they hold him for that.
Oh, wow. We'll have to look at the legislation. I mean, there's some offenses that the mens rea isn't required.
It's law. They passed the law that you come to the country. It's a mandatory 12-year sentence. What do you think about that? Do you think it needs some harsh laws like that?
Wow. That seems one of strict liability. Wow. I mean, what do you think about it? Do you think? That's a good. I don't know. Because it would make persons very vigilant, making sure that they don't carry any illegal ammunition with them, making sure that these things don't get into our countries. It could be something that we look into and have discussions with the public how they feel about it. What do you think about that, Jamster?
Well, I mean, yeah, we probably do need some. Yeah, probably do need some maybe draconian laws. You see, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. We were having this conversation a few months ago about Take for example the death penalty. How is this any different? I mean, people say, well, oh, we shouldn't have the death penalty because it doesn't think. So we could say this further this as well. So 12 years is not going to make a difference. People are still going to have guns. So how is it nobody's saying, oh, that's harsh, because we're still going to have people trying to sneak guns in. So my approach to this is people need to be punished. I don't care about saying, oh, he doesn't, maybe we shouldn't punish them because we're still going to have crime. You take everything on a case-by-case basis. You have laws for each criminal scenario, and you apply the laws. I don't care about, oh, well, we shouldn't kill people or we shouldn't do this because people... No one is expecting crime to disappear because maybe someone got... Okay, in that case, like someone got 12 years for bringing in a gun. No one is expecting necessarily that, oh, all of a sudden people are going to stop trying to sneak guns in. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People need to be punished. That's how you need to look at it. You know?
Well, I mean, if you're
So I agree with you.
if you're in possession of a illegal firearm, the court really doesn't. The law really frowns on that. I mean, I was there in court one time when someone had been found in possession, and the person's lawyer was arguing, that the person had it basically for security and stuff like that. But regardless, once you're found in possession of illegal firearm, there's little you could do in terms of preventing that sentence from you, if you know. And our laws as it relates to illegal firearms, they're strict, I think. I'll have to look at the laws to see what the sentence is, and there are mitigating circumstances and stuff like that would affect whether the sentence is increased or decreased. But there's a minimum threshold and based on precedent.
So, but you don't think that's why not 6 years? I mean, 6 years is still pretty harsh, but to me, if you're just coming, 12 years seems kind of... I mean, I get that you wanted to stop, but even 5 years would have been good.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm sure they can find other ways to... I mean, take for example, why, for example, can't you, if you arrest a person, maybe you try and find out where they got the... By the way, do we have a plea bargaining system in our legal system?
What do you mean?
Where if you give information, we'll take off some... Or you might even get immunity.
There's usually a mitigation. So perhaps if you assisted, they would say, well, you assisted with the investigation, you did this.
Oh, okay.
Then those things will look favorably when you're being sentenced.
Okay. Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, good morning, guys.
9:34, yeah.
Just want to shift gears a bit. You guys, I haven't really been paying attention much. Where will the music festival be held this year?
That's a good question. I know, Carlo, we were talking about the music festival this week. In fact, we were wondering when the next wave of announcement of artists would be done. It's April, what should it be? April 25th? So June 23rd, 25th is when the music festival. So we maybe directly 2 months away from music festival. And everyone has been asking about the plans for music festival. This has been the most silent time in terms of announcements. We're not hearing anything about the music festival. Nothing at all.
Okay. Yeah, granted. The thing is, right? I think that it's time that we have a semi-permanent place for music festival and probably other cultural activities. And thing is, if you go in the park, there's always going to be questions about either whether it's on the football side or if in the cricket side, mashing up the pitch or mashing up the football field. When it goes up to the athletic stadium, the King Collins Athletic Stadium, then it's going to have the same questions about what is it doing to the inner area, which the also use for football as well sometimes, or the track itself, having all these people just, walking about. And as I said, I think they should have a permanent to semi-permanent area for it. I don't think it should be at the Fort Thomas Hotel area. I think that's too small. I think we've outgrown it. What I think they should do, see, today they open, what you call it, agriculture open there.
Yes, it's still there.
Just beyond that, they have the park area. I forgot what it's called, the East Valley Park or something like that. Remember in December you had what was it, Cooler Fete, I think it was, held there. If they just go beyond that, they have acres and acres of land that they could level out, clear off, fence it, and have music festivals, maybe even the carnival shows and what's not there. You have enough room for parking and all of that. The whole area could be developed. People might say, well, oh, it's on the aqua farm, what's not. We're only doing surface activities. They could plant the grass, probably have porta potties when they have events, just like how they have it when they have music festival in the park, when they have, I'm sure, probably about 30, 40 porta potties where they lined up last year. That whole area. If they say if that area is not good, they could put it on the other side of the Kim Collins Highway, which is closer to the Newtown side.
Yeah.
All of that land there can be used. We have acres and acres of land there. Clear it off, fence it off. You have ample area for parking and everything. They could put up a permanent stage and, have it used for other activities. They could rent it out too when they have the cooler fits and the other thing. Because they're going to always have these issues of on a football field, on a cricket pitch, wherever they go, whether it's Connery and all of that. Because if thousands of people show up, they're going to trample the grounds. Okay, so that's just an idea out there. It won't be for this one for sure, but probably next year, looking forward. I think the Music Festival Committee and the government and so forth could look into doing that. And the next added advantage, you're not disturbing much people in the immediate vicinity with the noise pollution, as they might say. Okay? Maybe from Conway, and all depends on where they turn the system on the ground. Okay? So that's my just two cents on that. Don't know if I was going to reach, but yeah. Thank you, guys.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So it's 9:39. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
And then we come back with more. So we have the open day today.
Yes.
And that person makes a good point about music festival. Trying hard not to bash them about this, but it's beyond the pale now probably. But I keep my mouth shut because we have a lot of thin skins in this country, especially down on Church Street.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. We want your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community, we are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Fruta full of vitamin thing. Real fruit juice, no full of vitamin. Pop open the goodness, just dive in. Fruta every night, fruta every morning.
It's the amazing taste and quality in fruit juice you've come to know and love. Anytime, anywhere, any occasion. Fruta is your tastier, better, healthier choice.
We got the vibes, fruta. Real, real nice, fruta.
And for the families, remember to pick up the 1 liter.
And we are back, AZ. It's
Yes.
9:41. Let's go straight back to the phone lines.
Okay.
Caller, go right ahead.
Hi, Jamster. Good morning.
Hey, what's up?
And good morning to Azard.
Morning.
I'm here listening to the program.
Yes.
Jamster, you just said something before the break. Well, maybe constructive criticism might add another layer to their thin skin. Or the skin needs to get thicker, like the
But you know,
crocodile
but
skin.
this is the thing that always bugs me. My thing is, I don't understand. I understand if someone is going to be thin-skinned about something, but for me anyway, if someone criticizes or critiques me about something that is true, I engage in self-reflection, and as much as it hurts, because it's going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to feel put upon. And you can feel a little defensive, but me, I always try to be objectively look at what the person's saying and say, boy, this hurts, and yeah, that was hurtful, but it's true or it's not true, you know?
Yes.
And then I try to do better. But I don't understand, these people are entrusted with running a country. They more than me need to be involved. Yes. Yes, they need
To
to.
be more specific, when it comes to the matter at hand, which we're talking about, music festivals, maybe I was premature when I had asked, and Azard can, jog his memory.
Yeah, remember.
Yeah, when I asked for a post-mortem, maybe I was premature.
Yes.
But post-mortems are things that we do when it comes to testing the water, doing a comparative analysis as the following year, the previous year, comparing to the music festival that went, and we will see where we can add on and tweak it and so forth. And that is really what I was really asking for, the post-mortem. And then, lo and behold, we didn't even have any. Now that we're months away from another music festival, this is where all of the post-mortem analysis would have come in handy to say, well, from the post-mortem, we would have wanted to see different artists, different genre of music added to. Now, we've seen, yes, we did have a Burna Boy, and we've seen with the Afrobeat, and so let's see who we could have bring with whatever the budget was for, getting our artists and so forth in the off season of tourism.
Yes.
And so forth. So that was where me asking for a postmortem really came in. Remember that couple of years ago we had Buju.
Yes.
And Buju was a hard act to follow. That music festival was probably the best one in terms of crowd. Maybe not the lineup of artists, but in terms of the crowd, whatsoever we would have garnered from the crowd, we had a couple 15,000. I think one night we had 15,000.
Wow.
I think that went up in those numbers there.
But
that
you're
is
hearing,
how,
you're hearing nothing
but
about
when
the
it
music
really
festival.
pours, it rains. They say when it pours, it rains. And after almost 2 years in office, we have not seen anything for even them having to even ask for a raise of pay for the work that has been done. Yeah. So, they say when it pours, it rains. So maybe we have been getting some showers, and the critics gonna come.
Yeah, and
the people in this governance system, the democracy, the people speak. They spoke.
But you said something
And-
very
and they're
important, very interesting, You said that they just raised their salaries. So, of course, they have raised their salaries. They are expected to produce. You have just been given a raise, even though the raise came from themselves, by themselves, You have just been given a raise.
St. Peter's 2 days ago. I drove in the St. Peter's area 2 days ago. And if, the preparation for the road resurfacing, and so if that is any sign of anything that we were promised, at least I can take comfort in it, because I have seen some works being done on the side. Not the road as yet, but, they have to do a lot of preparation, infrastructure preparation. And I can say, well, if there's any sign, I can say, well, I give them a half mark out of the 100%. So we still have 99 and a half.
What about what
ago.
mark would you give them in housing? They promised 600 homes every year, a total of
Well, if I could
2,000.
take any comfort in the housing,
Mhm.
I would admit that the one over economy looks good.
The one,
Yes.
the
But
one
that's
out of
another
the.
half mark.
How
But they
you-
still have 99% to go.
So,
Oh, my wife pointed it out to me
Uh-huh.
Saturday
It looks
morning.
good. It looks
Well,
good for a really.
Oh.
In terms of the
But
work
Africa,
of it, what
Af-
it costs,
Mhm.
I don't know, but it looks good. It looks good as a low income.
Oh, yeah, she-
Not
yeah, she
that
said-
middle income area with
said they look
the
good,
money
yeah.
that it might cost, but it really looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks good, but remember they said that they're going to build 600 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much they can catch up for in terms of what the AMAC was and how
The
many they
man, the
would
man
get.
has a point. The man has a point, caller. Africa, he has a
Huh?
point. He has a point.
And we're not talking.
Yeah,
you said
he has a point. Yeah,
the homes
he
of
has a
good.
point because the time that the clock is not stopping for none of us.
and
The
you
clock
know,
keeps
and
ticking and
In
ticking
fact, I think Africa. I mean, you must be a very generous marker because if you're gonna do 2 homes, model homes, out of the, by now it should be perhaps almost going up to 1,000 homes built. If you're gonna do 2 out of, let's say, it's 600 per year. Let's even say, things could have happened. So let's say out of the 1,200 that we should be having by the end of this year, let's say they were only able to get 800. So out
I
of
think
2,
they had to revisit what those houses will cost though, because they're not geared towards the lower income persons of Kingston even.
You're talking about
In which
the other
the
model,
lower income
or-
persons housing demand is heavier than any other income. Okay, so that has to be revisited. I listened to the PLP press conference, and some things that came out of, for instance, I think the alternative electrical, solar project, and there was another one also that they have scrutinized. This previous administration probably would have scrutinized and decided to let's go as is with the project. And now the investors they're not here waiting along for us because they're investors. If we're not forthcoming in terms of our agreement, they will seek other places to go and set up shop. That's how investors are. We can recall when at the Casablanca Hotel a long time, I think it ended up in Anguilla.
Mm-hmm.
The shell over at the southeastern peninsula of that Casablanca. So I'm saying investors don't really wait around forever because we're going to want to reinvent the wheel. And speaking of reinventing the wheel, when it pours, it rains. Because we see I'm from, I don't make no fuss about it. I am from one of the most volatile areas when it comes to a lot of homicide and so. As we speak, we have seen over the course of the couple of weeks, the Newtown area, the body count. I don't want to sound so gruesome. And my Azard and Jamster, I have a passion. And when I speak about this, I have a real passion for wanting to see better in my community. I've seen too many bodies. It wasn't fun. But sometimes I'm outside and I have to pass, and I will have to pass where a body lie dead.
Yeah.
And I make no bones about it. And that is why I'm not a politician. I'm a community person. I'm a community-oriented person. And whatever I can do to give or to give back, I will do. But that was one of the things and the former community administration that I said, well, it wasn't perfect, but we are in the right structure. We are in the right path of stemming this thing. I've seen too many people, young guys, my friend, a close friend of mine up to the other day with one of the incidents in the Newtown area. He got raised. So I wasn't making no bones about that. I know the secrecy of human life. If I didn't know it, I learned it. Understand? So I make no bones about that. about the secrecy, what me will have the sanctity for another life and not wanting to be a part of that cycle. I make no bones about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm marking again, I cannot even give them a half mark for that.
And your half mark is out of what? 100? 200? 2,500?
When it comes to marking, I cannot give them, I can't even hold the pen in my hand to even start to say, right, a check or whatever to that aspect of where our homicide rate stands now and doing a
Because
comparative
the half
analysis
mark is
where
as
it was
powerful.
before, where it was before, and me coming from a volatile community,
Yes.
still live there, still have concern for there, still give back.
Yes.
By planting those trees in 2013, I saw the former minister yesterday with his lighting program. I saw him went there to shop the other day and he smiled. I smiled, and I told him yesterday when I saw him in downtown, I said, I smiled when I saw you went there to shop because you wasn't of the agreement to plant these trees. These trees has created an open market commercial space where people is making a little penny here and there. There are other plans for that area that I have.
Okay, caller.
In some of the water journeys and everything
Africa, your half mark is as powerful as the denominator. So if the denominator is 0.5 out of 1, that's 50%. So if you're saying you're giving them a half mark out of what? Is it a half mark out of 1,000, a half mark out of 10, a half mark out of 100, or a half mark out of 2,400?
Mm-hmm. You just jogged my memory when you were talking to thing. The other thing I had wanted to talk about, we talked about the other one that was on the news, is the Prime Minister addressed the frequent travel thing, right? Now, my thing about that is, one, I remember before they got the pay raise and so, many different people have told me that one of the reasons that they tended to travel a lot, even under Labour and even under Team Unity, was the per diems helped to pad their monthly income. Wait, let me finish. I think you'll get where I'm coming from when I say what I say when I finish. But I thought it was a good point to make. Yeah, I've heard that. And then when they took the raise, they also pointed out the fact that we had in Singapore. I've talked about how in Singapore, Singapore has one of the highest paid civil service and government salaries, probably the highest in the world. And the thinking there is, you pay your public servants well to minimize corruption and so on, right? Okay, so that's fine. That they said, okay, we want. It's been I think almost 20 years before they had gotten a raise. Okay, fine, they got the raise. So then my thing is, why are you traveling up and down so much? And the other issue, okay, he explained himself yesterday, but this is one of the problems I have. We had a situation last week where I think the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister were off island. I feel like there should be, for want of a better word, there should be a quorum, if you will, of the amount of people that should be off island at any time. You see, in the U.S. system, the Vice President and the President never travel together at the same time. So, okay, I understand you guys have things to do, but how about you have a situation where at least one of the prime ministerial heads is on island at all times. Nobody's saying Jeffrey is going to have to travel from time to time, obviously. But I don't think the two of them should be off island at the same time. I don't think you should have a situation where you have half the cabinet off island at the same time.
How did you, you talk about the traveling, right? You say a lot. Let me say something now.
Yeah.
You talk about the traveling and you say Team Unity used to do it. We don't expect that ministers aren't going to travel. I don't think that Team Unity...
Yeah, but Azard, no, let's not make it about...
Let me finish my point
Go
now.
ahead, yeah.
Let me finish my point. Because you said a number of things. So I'm going based on what you said.
I don't want your people to come beat me up. So let me stop interrupting you.
So I don't think that we're saying that ministers aren't expected to travel. They are expected to travel. And I don't think it's fair to
Mhm.
compare the number of travel appointments that these ministers have to Team Unity, because had it been so prevalent in
Okay.
Team Unity, I don't
Oh,
think
yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is
So-
true. We know that it was dramatically low. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
fair
then we
enough.
would have talked about
Fair
it.
enough.
You understand?
Yeah.
Secondly, what struck me was the fact that last week we had a very serious, in April, we had 5 homicides in April. We had a number of persons dying.
Mhm.
And we had a press conference held by National Security where the Defense, Police, and National
Mhm.
Security Advisor spoke.
Mhm.
We didn't hear anything from the Prime Minister.
Although, you know, I'm gonna say this.
Mhm.
I try to be reasonable. There's no reason for him necessarily to have to say anything. Those people, that's their job. He doesn't have to weigh in on. I don't even have a situation. I don't have a problem with him necessarily not saying anything. That's what their job is.
So what's his job?
He's the prime minister. I'm
And
not
what-
saying. I'm
No,
not
no.
saying.
Yeah,
But
he's
I'm
the
not
prime
saying he
minister.
can't weigh in. I'm
No,
just saying.
he's the Prime Minister, but what other job does he have? What is his portfolio?
His portfolio is national security.
So
Azard, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he shouldn't weigh in, but I'm saying if there's one time when he doesn't, it's not this big crime. I don't think.
Is one time that he doesn't, based on this the talk and based on what we've seen, there are numerous times that he doesn't.
Yes, but that's what you have functionaries for.
But what position does he hold other than Prime Minister?
But Azard, you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm understanding what you're saying, but I'm saying we had 5 homicides in April.
He is the prime minister.
And
Yeah.
what?
I'm
Other
not
than
sa-
being Prime Minister,
no,
what is
what
he?
I'm saying, yeah, it would be nice to hear from him. But if he doesn't, in a case like this, you had the 3 national security heads, and that's fine. On the surface, that's fine. I mean, we
Did
can
you
have another discussion
did you
about
get
the
any
quality.
relief- did you
We
get
can-
any
you
relief
can-
from
we
that
can have
press-
another discussion
press
about the
conference?
quality and the
Did you get
substantiveness
relief?
of the presentation. That we could have another discussion about that. But I'm
Okay.
just saying.
But
let's
listen
be
what I'm
fair.
saying.
Yeah,
I'm saying we had 5 homicides
Mhm.
in 11 days. You don't think 5 homicides in 11 days
Mhm.
is reason for a Minister of National Security to make a statement?
Yes, but he was off island. But then I also criticized the off islandness as well. I feel like okay, he made his point yesterday that these are things that there are a lot of seminal projects coming online that they have to go where the money is
The
coming
Minister
from.
of National Security
and so
was
on.
off island. We
Mhm.
saw a TikTok video of him
Mhm.
saying that I'm the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Mhm.
Yet, in the same country in which you're Prime Minister and National Security Minister, there's been 5 homicides in the span of 11 days and not a statement. Not even a TikTok statement.
Fair enough, right? Fair enough on that.
Okay.
I'm fair. I'm fair. I'm fair.
That's why I don't want to. I don't want because when you make this
Because
assessment,
you made a good point because
when
he
you
could have
make these
easily,
assessments,
he could have easily
right?
done the same
Yes.
thing.
When you make
right?
these assessments, people say you're political. You're exploiting the situation, but you're just commenting, giving your view, and what you think should be obvious.
That's fair.
I don't want to get heated, so let me just take it back down. Okay.
No, but I mean, I just feel like my point. I don't know if you didn't comment on my point.
Which
I
one
believe
now?
there should be a quorum, quote unquote, about how many people should be off island at any given time. I think sometimes it seems like it heads up to like 65% of them being off the island at one time. And I don't know if that's. I understand they have things to do, but they need to find a way
But
to.
at the end of the day, you two, are these invitations only for the ministers? Don't you have functionaries, as you said? Don't you have persons in the offices?
That again is an
who-
issue.
Who can go and represent the country?
That again is an issue.
Persons who deal with the day-to-day running of these things?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's-
Maybe
that's-
the
that's an
invitation is
issue.
sent only to the ministers.
Mhm.
You understand?
I absolutely agree with that.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know who sends the invitations and who these invitations are for.
Mhm.
But we have a situation here where many persons feel like the country is being run on autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you make a good point.
But when you
yeah.
say these things, people say you're being political when you're being real.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, we're gonna have to leave it there. It's 1 minute after 10 o'clock, so we have to get licks for the 1 minute. I wonder what that punishment will be.
Yes. So
so you're going up to the You going up to the thing today, tomorrow, both days?
Yeah, I'll be up there.
You're gonna go get some tree mutton.
I'll see what they have. Actually past there. I was there this morning, but
oh, you did. Yeah. You know, it's funny when you came in. I was gonna ask you, but I was like, nah, he probably didn't have time.
Yeah.
I was planning to ask if you passed by, but I didn't bother.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably pass by later.
Yeah. Okay.
In and out of the work that I'm doing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should pass by Feed and Farm too.
Feed and Farm.
You weren't here when. Oh, you weren't here.
I was here when they opened there.
No, the lady for.
Oh,
you weren't here.
No, I wasn't here yesterday.
You wasn't here, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was feeling even worse yesterday than I am today.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, she left her. Look, she left her thing.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, folks. So don't forget, go check out the open day and get some tree mutton, horseback riding, corn. Was it corn on the cob competition, watermelon eating? I imagine all that's probably going to be tomorrow as well. So, okay, folks. That's it for Island Tea this morning. We're going to be back tomorrow for more.
Indeed. Take care, guys.